Legend of Zelda was released by Nintendo in 1986 on the NES, an 8-bit console with an 8-bit game, which had significantly limited technical capabilities compared to what we have now. In spite of its rudimentary graphics and the system's limited capabilities, Nintendo managed to pack in some generationally memorable music, various unique enemies, power-ups and attacks, and create an extensive sense of adventure. Just 1 year later, they managed to do it again with Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, another 8-bit game that managed to feel completely different from the first while still maintaining that same adventure focus that made the first so special. It separates the world map and individual levels in terms of gameplay and visual detail. Its variable level design and art style sets it apart. Plus, the music is still simple like the first game, yet still incredible, creating addictive melodies even with the limited sound capabilities at the time. But moving on to the 90s, the first 16-bit Zelda game was released, A Link to the Past. It took full advantage of the SNES's new audio-visual power, making beautiful, well-defined, colorful character designs. Compared to previous games, the 16-bit processing was world-shattering, not to mention the music. Compared to older titles, it was like night and day. It brought about a combination of new tracks with clear and detailed melodies, but also remastered beloved classics in significantly greater detail, beautifully recreating them, deepening the notes to create a truly infectious melody.
Lamp oil, rope, bombs? You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies.
After this, while there were a few 32-bit CDI Zelda games released, which are still fairly infamous within the Zelda community, there were no mainline 32-bit Zelda games released. These games were substantially more visually and audibly detailed than previous entries, with clearer shading on sprites and backgrounds. It has a more realistic appearance.
Sorry, Link, I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little, richer.
Regardless, Nintendo instead opted to jump to 3D with Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time, the first ever 3D Zelda game, is beloved and still played to this day. As a running theme now with the Zelda franchise, the music, story, atmosphere, and characters are all beloved aspects of the game. However, obviously, what truly set Ocarina of Time apart from its predecessors was its groundbreaking 3D world. With the capabilities of the Nintendo 64, the game was able to fully realize a three-dimensional Hyrule, something that was impossible in previous titles. Character models were no longer restricted to simple sprites, but rather had depth and movement in a way that made the world feel alive. The game's implementation of Z-targeting was a significant advancement, allowing for fluid combat and interaction in this new 3D space. The textures, while simple by today's standards, were revolutionary at the time, providing depth to dungeons, landscapes, and character expressions. Ocarina of Time's artistic direction also played a major role in its success. While constrained by the limitations of early 3D modeling, the game used lighting, color palettes, and environmental design to immerse players in its 3D fantasy world. The transition from day to night, weather effects, and the drastic shift between young and adult Link's world demonstrated a new level of artistic ambition in gaming.